he walked in the front door where my office is. He come through the front door and into the kitchen. And I asked him when he got in the kitchen if he could smell cigarette smoke. And he looked at us and said, "You guys smoke?" And we said, "Yes, we do." He goes, "Well, I don't smoke, and I don't smell any cigarette smoke." So the bulbs was working as far as taking the smoke away. You know, as soon as the smell, as soon as you're smoking, yeah, the smell's going to be there. But very rapidly it goes away, and then when you come back into the room, it's not there. And with cigarette smoke, it seems like it never goes away. So it helped out there very much.
I'm in Spokane, Washington, which is the eastern side of Washington, and our air quality is about 187 to 225. It was kind of getting better this week, and then today it just got really worse again. And my experience is in a farmhouse that I live in. I've got 3 lights in the basement stairs, and they got rid of the smoke in about an hour from the house.
I have a cat whose poop is absolutely lethal because I feed him really well. It's so bad that the cat comes and taps me on the elbow to tell me to come and open the outside door and close the inside door so that he doesn't stink up the house. He's a very polite cat. And I have to say, since I have those light bulbs in, I have 2 in the living room, and I'm in a kind of a shotgun-style apartment, so no way to get away from the cat box, you know. But since I have those 2 light bulbs in the living room, and his cat box is like right next door in the Arizona room, I have not noticed when he's pooped since I put those light bulbs in. I'm always surprised. And he knows it too because he hasn't come to notify me that it's time, you know.
Last big hurricane here, truly I didn't even notice till I replaced these light bulbs. Immediately saw the difference in the lighting they exude. In addition to which, when I looked up, I saw a mold spot, not large, about the size of a quarter, on the exterior of one of the vents in the front room, which I don't go into often. And so I left that light bulb on the first day, and then the second day, and then I had the Christmas tree on. But so I put it back on today, and from a quarter-size mold that I didn't even know was there, it's down to really like the size of a pin. I mean, unless I told someone it was there and they looked, it's on the very edge of the vent. And also, a dear friend of mine, his daughter is seeing a significant difference with her allergies. So, you know, totally impressed.
Part of my house is it's built on a grade, and so part of it, the foundation is a little bit below grade, and it's where my office is, and especially in the spring and summer, in the humid times of the year, I've always had a bit of a musty smell in there. And so I put a little one of those little gooseneck lamps right over my computer space there, and I keep that thing burning, and I put one of the bulbs in, and I keep it burning for probably 12 to 16 hours a day, and slowly but surely it has worked and taken away that musty smell, and it's hardly noticeable now. I also burn one for several hours in the bedroom before I go to bed, and never been a good sleeper. I have trouble shutting my brain down at night, and it certainly helped me sleep better. So just can't thank all of you folks enough for all that you do. Thank you very much.
I am a raw foodie. I have a dehydrator, and I had been dehydrating for Christmas presents marinated onion rings, which the aftermath of that lingered in my home for days. And so I thought, oh, great, I'll get the bulbs and I'll try it, see if I can do a smell test, the ultimate smell test. So Friday I ran out, got the onions, put them in 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the dehydrator, 18 hours, and out the next morning. And during the dehydrating process, it is pretty intense, the smell. And even with the bulbs, there was still smell. But I had to leave at about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock that morning and not get home till 6 at night. And I thought, well, this is going to be a good test because the onion rings are done. They're out of the dehydrator. Everything's stopped. I'm leaving my home. The lights are on. And I'll come home later and see if I can notice any difference coming into my place. And it was amazing. It was a teeny bit, but I realized I didn't have time to wash my dehydrator trays, so there was still a little of that around. But really 99.9% was gone within that, 8 hours kind of thing, 6 to 8 hours that I was out. And I don't know when it would have been gone, but I was gone that long, so I couldn't challenge it before that. But it was really nice. And in addition, just the color of the light and the feeling of it is lovely.
Just a follow-up story on the 3 people I gave 2 light bulbs to for the smoke here in Spokane. The older 90-year-old couple, they have oxygen throughout their house. Over the last week, she had stopped sneezing, where she keeps sneezing every time she enters her upstairs bedroom room. She didn't sneeze at all this week. She was amazed. Also, she monitors his oxygen levels, and he had an increase of almost 20% over the usual increase that he has. So say it was like he had 90 out of 100, he was getting like 98 out of 100 saturation rate in his oxygen level. So she was sold just because of those 2 items.
I'm a hairdresser by trade for 50 years, and sometimes people don't want to hear you don't do hair anymore. And I have a dear friend that I've done her hair for 40 years, and I gave her a permanent wave today. And I documented it. I shot a picture of her, and at 1:15 when I was through, I took a picture of the clock, and I shut my room up. It's not a very big room, maybe about a 12 by 12, with 1 light bulb. No fresh air coming in. There was a ceiling fan and 1 light bulb in there. It is wonderful in here. There is no smell of permanent wave, thioglycolic, and it's wonderful. I didn't know if it would be quicker, slower, longer, however it might take. I'm just happy to say that I ran my own test and I took all that smell out of there with the permanent wave solution with 1 light bulb. So thank you, Pure Light.
This is Linda. We bought a Repo 4 years ago. And we have a couple closets that reek with rat urine because the house was infested with rats. We put the lights in the closets, and there's no smell. Gone.
We have well water with high iron content, and with that you get a nice rusty look, especially in my nice white shower. And I noticed within a few hours of using it, it appeared that the nice rusty color was fading. And within a day, like 90% of it was gone. And then I did some research and found out that a lot of water with high iron has what's called an iron bacteria in it. It's harmless to people, but that's what causes a lot of the staining. And literally the staining was disappearing before my eyes using the light bulbs. So I was blown away.
My testimonies is simply they work. I have a stinky dog in the main floor bathroom, and when I have to let him out every day, I want to die. And so I put the 4 bulbs in within 24 hours. I could tolerate it, and then when I turned the lights on in the morning, I went back 20 minutes later, nothing, no smell. So I freaked out, and I put my poinsettias all who are dying in the sink and watered them down. And came back the next day, and they looked like they're brand new out of the store. And it freaked me out. I didn't know about the plant stuff. Yeah. My kids, this is really embarrassed to say online, but my kids who are grown up say our house smells like old people house. I went, we're not old. What are you talking about? And so I put bulbs in the hallway, and my kids from Florida came last week and said, man, the house smells great. And I just went, oh, my gosh.
I grow microgreens, and in a small room I have 2 bulbs in there. And when I heard that I needed grow lights to do that, and so when I heard about these, I was really excited to get them for that. And I planted my sunflower seeds the normal time, and they have grown. Normally they grow to about 4 inches, and that's when you cut them and eat them. And they just zipped up. They're like at 7 inches now, and they're growing so fast I can't cut them small, and it's just growing so fast. And so I just wanted to share.
I have a machine, an air purifier that costs over $500, and I've had it for over 15 years. It uses ozone and ionization, and the machine uses high voltage on a plate that produces the ozone. But we have 2 cats and a dog, and our homes do not smell, but due to the cats using the litter box, we get white crusty powder on the plate and also in the front of the machine after about 30 days. Well, I decided to install a bulb in the room where the machine is at, and for the last 3 weeks, I haven't seen any white crust or anything on the machine.
Hi. Yeah, we got bulbs in the 5th of January of this year, put them throughout the house, and for years, probably 15, 18 years, we've had these big air purifiers that do use ultraviolet light and ozone. You're supposed to leave the home to use ozone. And we've had them up in our main living area, which is a large area, and also in the basement. We run those pretty much 24/7, and they will do up to 3,000 square feet each. So we've been using those for many, many years, 24/7. We got the bulbs, put them in the 5th, and in just a few days, my wife and I both noticed the air seems to be fresher. Well, in about 2 weeks, one evening we were sitting here in the living room, and she says, Tim, I cannot believe this. I'm breathing better than I have in years. And she's been a little sensitive to allergens and those type of things. So they were much improved, and they're still much improved. And the biggest thing is that we have a large living area, 30 by 30, big ceilings, and we burn an airtight stove here, and we have for 20 years, a wood stove. And, you know, you open the side and you get a little puff of smoke, and you smell it back through the computer room and all that. And so we put up with this for all these years, but we've still been running these other air purifiers the same all those years. And we didn't think about doing anything to our sectional. We've got a large sectional, and it's cloth. It's not leather or vinyl. It's cloth. And my wife's been after me for probably a year saying we need to get rid of this stinking sectional. Well, they're very expensive. So I hadn't moved on it yet, and I'm glad I didn't. After about 2 months, she began to do the sniff test on this thing, and she says, Tim, I cannot believe this. There is not a trace of a smell of wood smoke. If you go within 2 or 3 inches of it, you can smell the smoke in there, and still today. And we burn wood until about the last 2 weeks. And so it's amazing what it's done to clean up this house. So that saved us about $3,000 there probably. And so we're excited. We told a lot of people about it, and we just love the bulbs. We've probably got about 15 or 18. We burn the living room, this living area here, 2 or 3 on all the time. The kitchen, 2 of those. The bathroom's pretty much 24/7. And the basement, she walked down there maybe 2 or 3 weeks after we had the bulbs in down there too. She said, boy, this is a new basement. And we still run 3 or 4 of those 24/7. So